Hey, you guys, welcome to my podcast, The Truth Hurts. And today I have a very, very, very special guest, Tiana Johnson.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Tiana is such a beautiful spirit, a God fearing woman, just beautiful inside and out. And
Thank you.
listen, you guys, what I really love about Tiana, which I already said, is her bright, bright spirit, but also just the way she is just very, very real, very authentic. And the way she
Yeah.
speaks, I keep saying this, like the way she speaks just captures my attention. Like she just you gonna hear it. You gonna see. Like she speaks to your spirit. She speaks to your soul. You gonna have like a whole TV in your brain without the TV in front of you, because the way she just captures you and reels you in by the way she speaks
Thank
is
you.
just a gift. It's truly a gift, and
Yeah.
I adore that gift, and I adore Tiana, and I'm so happy she's here. So excited, and we gonna get into it. But before we get into it, you guys, I just want to say that thank you. Thank you for tuning in.
Mhm.
Thank you for,
Mhm.
you know, just being here from the very beginning since Red Cow Sessions. And y'all still
Aw.
here
Yeah.
with the new transition and everything. And I'm grateful. So, yes, let's get into it.
I'm so
Yes.
happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And hopefully I can live up to the intro. So we'll see.
Yes, you will.
Okay.
Yes, you will. Oh my gosh. So, we're going to get into some very, very interesting things.
I'm excited.
And
Yeah.
this particular episode or this topic
Oh.
is quite fresh.
For you?
It's
Okay.
quite fresh. It's quite current, and it's quite deep, or can be deep, but we're gonna have fun.
It's given tea. So let's get into it.
Oh my
Because I
god!
want to
Okay.
know.
Yes. So I just want to ask you guys a question.
Mm.
Have you ever been in a situation where you found yourself blaming or pointing fingers at someone in a situation where it was really you?
Oh.
It was really you, and you did not take accountability. You didn't own up for that situation, but
Mm.
instead you kind of you backed out.
That
How
is tea.
did that, make you feel? How did you deal with that? Did you take accountability? Did you continue to blame that person, or did you just turn a blind eye to it and just walk away? You
That's a
know?
good question.
And I find that with me, when I come across a situation that I know I could have done better in,
Mm-hmm.
and I could have just, take time, pause, think about it, and then respond,
Mm-hmm.
I react.
Oh, you react based on how you feel.
Yes, I react based on how I feel, and that's like the worst thing to do.
Yeah.
I feel like depending on certain situation, but I feel as you like get older and mature,
Mm-hmm.
you just know
You
better.
can't be doing that no
Yeah,
more.
you can't be doing that.
Yeah, you can't. And it's true because I used to do the exact same things. Like my feelings really ruled me, like good or bad. So if however I feel in the moment is however I'm gonna act in that moment. But then after that, you end up regretting it a lot of the times. You end
Yeah.
up looking back like, ooh, it wasn't that deep, or it's like I stand by how I felt, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't stand by how I moved out of my
Yeah.
feelings. Yeah.
Yeah. And that could make me feel really bad about myself, because knowing the kind of person that I am, or the person that I see myself being, or just want to be,
Yeah.
and this is what I decided to do.
Yeah.
It's like a sting. It's
Yeah.
like a sour feeling
Yeah.
in your chest, and it's like, oh,
That wasn't it.
that wasn't
That wasn't
it. That
it.
wasn't
That
cute.
wasn't
That wasn't
it.
classy.
Yeah.
That just was not.
It wasn't given.
It was not giving at all. And
Mm-mm,
so
mm-mm.
with me, what I'm doing currently in my life is doing a lot of self-reflecting. And I feel like I've been doing that, but I feel like you're always going to go through a moment, a phase in your life where you have to just sit back and self-reflect.
You do.
And I had to sit back and self-reflect on some things.
What came out of that reflection?
It came out as I got a new perspective of who I was,
Okay.
who I decided to be in that moment, and who I'm gonna work towards being.
Yeah.
And also working on those areas that I didn't own up to, so that that woman that I desire to be will start to evolve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I don't do it, I feel myself just like, it's kind of like the key in the door, and it's like it's kind of stuck.
You're getting jammed.
It's getting jammed.
Yeah,
it's getting jammed.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that smooth turnaround.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, that's how I feel. I feel like I jammed when I don't deal with that situation, and it does not make me feel good. It's like I can't point the finger to anyone else at that point. It's really me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really true. I feel like I've learned to slow down.
Yeah.
Like when something happens and I feel a way, like the moment I have the feeling is not the moment that I can react or address it. And I'm the type of person, I want to talk about everything immediately. And so I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
Immediately. I don't want it to sit for a second. It happened right now. I want to address it right now. But I feel like that's sometimes the healthiest way to, kind of make sure that things don't come up in the future. It's like, oh, it happened in the moment. Then you should have said something in the moment instead of bringing it up later. And that was my thought process. Yeah. But I'm too reactive in that moment. And I react way past how I really feel. So I've kind of had to learn to like slow down and figure out, okay, if I feel a way, why do you really feel a way? Like, I used to automatically just go to anger. And it's like, okay, I'm not angry for real. Like, I was just disappointed. It was just a little sad. Like, it's like, oh, I actually expected something and I got something else. And that's what I need to communicate and not react out of anger. It's like, girl, just chill a little bit. It's not that deep.
And like in you saying that, I just remembered something that.
Tell us.
Okay.
Oh my God. You're not going to tell us. That's crazy.
Okay, so it's like being in a situation and finally realizing towards the coming out of that situation that you made a lot of mistakes. You made a lot of mistakes. All of this was in front of your face. And you was all like,
okay,
I don't see it. But when I do that, or when I realized that I was doing that, I realized that I was accepting a version of myself that I did not like. I did not like. And it's like in the moment, I should be like, no, Danica, no, that's not right.
What does that look like for like people watching, like in their own personal lives?
What does it look like?
Yeah, because when you say like in a situation you're not addressing things right until you come out of it and then you have that reflection, like what can that look like in everyday life?
It's a good question. What can that look like? It can look like not making those same mistakes.
What are the mistakes? Well, that's basically... No, I'm not... It is too me, I don't think you should tell them because the whole internet, girl, they can't keep a secret.
They really can't.
I don't want to talk about y'all in front of y'all, but y'all can't keep a secret for real. But I think like to help people watching, or I'll share for me.
Yeah.
Like oh, it is harder when you do have to share.
Yeah.
Because wait a minute.
It's like you're in the spot, and it's like, who's watching this?
Where did this end up? I think, okay, let's say you're at work and you have an issue with a coworker.
Yeah.
I'm making this up as I go, guys. So bear with me. Let's say that you have an issue with a coworker and, I don't know, they keep eating your food. And it's like, bro, this is all I have to eat. So it's like, you're really pissing me off. Of course you want to say something. It's like, okay.
Did you even ask in the first place?
You want to address it, but this is your job.
Yeah.
It's a professional setting. Like, you need your job at the end of the day. So, yes, as much as I need my food, if I'm reporting this and it's not getting handled, whatever, what caused the conflict is not my issue.
Yeah.
But how I react to it either can contribute to it. So I think instead of just wilding out and it's like, okay, well, now I'm going off on you. Now I'm addressing you right there and there. Now is, more confrontational than it needs to be.
Yeah.
How do I slow down and actually get to a resolution that's helpful without hurting the situation? And how do I actually get in a place where I can set boundaries? So who can I address and how do I speak to you directly, for one, give you an opportunity to do better? If you're not doing better and this continues, who else can I bring into this conversation of like, with a little bit more authority to give us some guidance in this? If it's still not working out, okay, what actions can I take? Now I've done what I can to resolve it between you and I, and you're still not changing anything. So this is no longer an issue between you and I. This is something that I need to take responsibility for myself. So I no longer bring my food to work and keep it in a common area. I keep it in my personal space. Yeah. Or I just leave for lunch. Like I can only control my side of the conflict. Yeah. So the best I can do is try to resolve this with you. And if I can't resolve it with you, how do I just avoid this on my own? Because I don't want to compromise and leave my job. Right. You won't pay my bills for me, but it's the best I can do without giving y'all too much tea within like the first 10 minutes.
That's good.
But I think that's what that looks like practically, because it may not be my issue or I didn't create the conflict, but I think it's very important to think about how we can contribute to it based on our reactions. Because yes, someone else may be in the wrong, but it's very easy for us to end up there with them. Yeah. Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Ooh. Good. Yeah. And that can be hard for a lot of people.
Oh, it's hard.
That can be so hard.
Of course it's hard.
Like, and then it's also, we think about the person's reception to it. Like, how are they going to receive that when you bring it up? Some people are not. And then it can provoke something inside you. Like, I really took the time to try to figure out a positive and healthy solution. And you just want
that
to.
That used to make it worse for me. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. That meme was like, it's like, be nice. And it's like, I'm finding it. It takes me that long to find it. It does. That's what it used to be for me. It's taking me that long to find it. Give me a day. Give me a day.
Give me a moment.
I'm trying to be nice about this. And here you go pissing me off.
Like, it just didn't have to get to this point. Like, why? But I think that also comes with emotional intelligence too, no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
Having self-control over how you feel and just seeing the reality of the situation.
Yeah, for someone else.
And just the environment of the situation. I feel like there's different things that play into it, and just being self-aware of what's going on in your
Yeah.
surroundings.
Very true. Very, very, very true.
And even for the other person, like seeing where they might be, depending on how they're receiving it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot that goes into it.
Yeah,
And
I
some people
think
don't want to deal with any of that. It's just
no,
like
because
respect.
it takes work.
Yeah.
It takes work. The
Yeah.
easy thing to do is to just react. The
Mm-hmm.
easy thing to do is to just pop off when things get hard. The easiest thing to do is just go with how I feel at any given time and just deal with the circumstances or not deal with it at all afterward. It takes so much it takes so much out of you until you really get in the groove of exercising that muscle to like meet people with compassion and with love in all circumstances, like to the best of your ability, and even just to observe and see their character and not take it personal, even though this personally happened to me. I don't care who you are, like, but it's just sometimes if you can take a step back and just look at somebody's character, you can see and understand that if it was me or if it was somebody else, this probably would have still been the outcome. This really has nothing to do with me and more to do with them. Yeah, but that takes work.
That's good though.
Not everybody wants to work every day.
Not everybody wants to work, man.
And I'm the everybody.
It takes work, but
Yeah.
that's where the self-growth comes in, like that self-development, like mentally and spiritually, emotionally, when you put in that work, when you invest in that time. It's not just for them, but it's also for you too.
It is definitely for you, because at a certain point you learn to have peace in situations.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get there. It takes a little minute to get there, I'm not gonna lie. And I think sometimes the endurance of that is just relying on God and just taking it to Him and being like, oh, you said to love my enemies, but have you met them? You said everybody is an image bearer, but God, I'm not seeing the image. Like,
God, just
but
come through in this situation.
I think it's out of the reverence for Him and the honor and the love for Him. It's like, you don't love me if you don't love my people. And the Bible also lets us know that there's no benefit to loving lovable people. What
There's
credit
no
do you
benefits,
get
right?
for loving lovely people? It's the ones that are difficult, that it's like you have to love your neighbor as you love yourself. But our humanity can get in the way of that sometimes. And our humanity leads us to just want to react and want to seek vengeance for ourselves when we feel wrong. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, girl, it takes work.
Takes work. But you know what? What's that saying? Nothing comes easy in life. I think I had like a different quote, but that's like the closest one. Nothing comes easy in life. It takes work.
Nothing good comes easy. Yeah.
It takes work.
Yeah, it does. But worthwhile, though.
But it's worth. Yeah, it's so worth it.
It is worthwhile.
It's so worth it.
I will say that. It gives you better self-control.
Yeah.
It leads you to having healthier relationships, especially when you can learn to understand, okay, for the type of relationship I'm looking for and I'm expecting, once I learn to accept people where they are, I can learn to manage my expectations. And if I can learn to manage my expectations, I can manage my disappointments. Like, I'm not going to expect
You are saying a word.
You
are saying a word.
Yeah.
You guys, let's get into these questions. Ooh, it's getting really good.
It's
getting really good. I feel like we answered some of these questions already, but let's get into it. Let's get into it. Yeah. So, how would you define accountability?
How would I define accountability?
Versus blame.
Okay.
I did like a whole pause.
I thought that was a question. I was about to dissect and break it down. All right.
I took a pause there. I took a pause there. I'm sorry.
That was a stop. That was a full stop. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. Let me take it back. How would you define accountability? I feel like that's a question like I should ask too. Like, what define accountability and blame? So yeah, let's start there.
How do you define?
What's your definition of accountability and blame?
So I'll start with accountability because I think that's a full question in itself. Because I think that there's context of what accountability is.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about, like we were just discussing, accountability when it comes to like your actions or accountability in an interaction with someone, I think it's really owning yourself and being honest and being truthful. And if you can't be honest with yourself, then you can't be accountable to something.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really takes some girth and some grip in you to know, to be able to see yourself
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, I know I was wrong. I'm like, I don't stand by that action, but I did it and I have to own it. And not everybody is there, but there's also grace to know that we can all learn and try to get there. It's not a thing. It's like there shouldn't be shame there.
Yeah.
And I think shame hinders accountability.
Yes.
Because if you have shame there, you can't be honest, and you can't, because you feel like the wrong is your identity. Mm-hmm. Instead of just understanding I made a mistake that I need to own.
Yes.
Shame makes you feel like I am the mistake. So now I can't be accountable to this. I want to deflect it because I don't want to feel that shame.
Yeah.
So I think that's
so real. Yeah, that's so real.
I think that's one aspect of accountability, but I think another aspect of accountability is being responsible to someone. Like being accountable to someone. I think it's extremely important in life that you have somebody that you answer to. Not like somebody that's over you or rule you, but someone that can lovingly check you. Like you need a good friend that is a real friend, that isn't just a yes man or a yes woman and will let you just do anything and co-sign it blind. Mm-hmm. You need someone, a friend, a parent, or sibling, someone in your life that's close enough. Because I think you can't really, when it comes person to person, like someone holding you accountable, you can't have accountability without a relationship. Yeah. You can't have correction without some type of connection there, or else it doesn't really have the same form of love there. So I think accountability is also knowing that, like, hey, for example, if you're struggling with something, like if you're struggling with drug, alcohol, or anything, it doesn't matter, anything. If you're struggling with lying, if you're struggling with school, if you're something in your life you're not meant to walk out alone, there is someone that you should be able to go to say, hey, I need you to hold me accountable to this. Hey, this is what I'm dealing with. I need you to help me overcome. Or when you don't think that you have a problem, you need someone that loves you enough to say, hey, this is what's going on in your life. So I think those are the two important forms of accountability for yourself, and also having it outside of yourself. And then what was the rest of the question? I
forgot. Blame. What is your definition of blame? But I want to go back to what you said, because I actually didn't really think of it like as a two form. Yeah. It's like a two person in one. Yeah. Like taking accountability for yourself and taking accountability, you said, for someone else. Yeah. Yeah. You need to be responsible to someone else, I guess. I'm sure there's a better way to put it, but basically, yeah. Because the Bible says that a fool is wise in their own counsel. So if it's just me and my thoughts in this echo chamber of my head, I'm always going to be right. What? Yeah. Absolutely, I'm always going to be right until I introduce other voices. Yeah. Yeah. Proverbs lets us know that where there's no counsel, the people fall. But in the multitude of counsel, there's safety. And that multitude is in quantity and quality. Because I think the safety comes in good counsel, which is people that love you and genuinely want the best from you. Not people that just are going to go along and say yes to anything. But I think the level of the relationship gives you that. If you have surface level relationship with people and they're your counsel, it's always going to be yes. Like you have something passive there, but if you have real depth of a relationship and there's love and there's trust there and they genuinely want the best for you, they will quickly tell you no when you need it. Yeah. So I definitely think that you have to have it within yourself, and you have to have it outside of yourself, because your own thoughts, ideas, whatever cannot be sustain you.
Yeah. That can't be the full sounding board. You need something else to balance that out.
Yeah. And God said what? Lean not on your own understanding.
Amen.
Lean not to your own understanding.
Okay.
Okay. So, oh yes, and your definition for blame.
I think I think blame is a fruit of shame.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's exactly what that is when there's shame there. I don't really want to face it. I don't really want to look at it. This makes me uncomfortable and it doesn't feel good. Um, and I think pride as well. When you feel like I can do no wrong and I'm all knowing and I'm too good. If that's how you're already thinking, then of course it can't be you, because now that doesn't match up with your thoughts, that doesn't match up with your actions, that doesn't match up with who you've identified yourself to be.
Your automatic response is to
Is
blame
to
someone
point
else.
to
Points
someone
to
else,
yeah.
because now if I say that this is me, that caused some cognitive dissonance, because now this moment isn't it's not validating who I believe myself to be as all right and always good and always perfect and never wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think that's what blame can look like, the fruit of shame and the fruit of pride.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. Now for the full question.
Oh, this question's got 3 parts, y'all. That's how you know it's
That's
a good
a-
question.
yeah.
That's a really good question.
Oh man. How would you define accountability
Mm-hmm.
versus blame?
Uh-huh.
And what's the main difference in your opinion?
The main difference between accountability and blame. That's a good question. I feel like we've identified what the two are, but to distinguish the two of them, I really think the distinction is in the heart posture. I think if you have shame in your heart, and if your heart is filled with pride, if it's hardened by pride,
Mm-hmm.
you can't take that kind of feedback.
Yeah.
For when it's damaging to your identity of who you believe yourself to be. And if you have shame, it's hard to look at, and that makes it uncomfortable. And so instead of being able to look at yourself, you want to look at the fault in everyone else so you can feel better about your own self.
Mm.
So it kind of hardens your heart. But I think if you have a heart where you can when you can have a little bit of introspection and look at yourself and see, okay, what can I own in this moment? Or you can seek good counsel and have someone else let you know, okay, here's what maybe you could have done different, or here's what you did wrong. You're open to learning about yourself in that moment. You're not identifying with the issue and feeling like that's who you are. Like, if I was angry and I reacted wrong, I would feel like, oh, I'm just aggressive, instead of understanding that, no, I had an aggressive moment. That doesn't make me an aggressive person. So it gives me room to take accountability for that and then change that and learn from it. So I think it's really about your heart posture. Do you have a hardened heart, or are you open to learning about yourself, something that might be uncomfortable, so that you can grow? These are good questions.
Listen, and it's only gonna get better.
These are good questions. I wonder what they think. What do y'all think?
What do y'all think?
Yeah, what do y'all think?
Ooh.
These are good. I'm excited. The last one was so good.
Yes, it was a 3-4 part answer. Woo!
Yeah,
When
so-
there's multiple questions within a question,
That's what it was. That's really what
there's
it was
depth
given.
to that question. It's a depth question. Let's get into this one. Why do people sometimes choose to blame others rather than hold themselves accountable?
It's so much easier.
Yeah.
What? Of course, it's so much easier. And the responsibility of having blame can fall to somebody else. So if you're wrong, you're the one that has to fix, you're the one that has to correct, you're the one that has to amend, and you're the one that kind of has to make up for,
Mm-hmm.
to rebuild trust and to rebuild a relationship
Mm-hmm.
wherever it looks.
Yeah.
And if I can offload all of that responsibility to someone else, whew, that's so much
It's a
better.
load off.
Yeah.
It's like you said earlier. Yeah, like it's just easier. You don't have to be the one to deal with. Well, you are dealing with the guilt. You just don't want to face it, so you just push it
Yeah,
back.
exactly. If you're not even dealing with your own guilt, you don't want
Yeah.
the responsibility of going to someone else. And also, sometimes there's fear.
Yeah, and
Because
pride.
when we address things
Yeah.
and we open ourselves up when we are vulnerable and we say, I'm wrong, you don't know how that's going to go with somebody else.
Yeah.
Are you going to give me grace? Or are you going to, like,
go off on me?
yeah, and make me feel worse? And I think, let's be honest, sometimes people are that way because of the reactions that they've gotten.
Yeah. And that's scary.
It's not an excuse, but it's an opportunity to show grace.
Yeah. Not everybody has that.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that.
Yeah.
It's very much like, forget you. Like, what?
Yeah, people are so nuanced. It's not just this is black and white and like this moment is just this one moment. This moment also has the undertones of every other life experience that they've have and that they come with, and the beliefs that they've adopted or that people have like kind of instilled into them with like their words and their actions. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Next question. What are the benefits of taking accountability? Ooh, what are the benefits? This is a good one. Even in difficult situations.
What are the benefits of taking accountability in difficult situations? I think the benefit is that you have an opportunity for your relationship to grow. I don't know about you, but I think it is something so loving about someone maybe not showing the best of themselves or not having the best moment, but they can come back and they can own it. They can apologize, and then they can try to work to amend or correct it. I think that builds trust. Even though you might have had a moment of mistrust, I think that builds trust to know that, okay, you do see me and you do care for me, and you do honor and value at least this relationship. So that's an investment in it there. I think it's kind of childish for us to expect that everything is going to go right all the time, including in relationships and interactions with other people. And when we say relationship, this is also platonic. Could be sibling to sibling, friend to friend, coworker to coworker. Like, things will go bad. You will have moments where you get into conflict with people, but when you can have conflict and then you can have acknowledgement and you can have ownership and then correction, you can have trust.
Yeah.
I can start to trust you that if you can recognize an offense or you can recognize a hurt, it doesn't end there. I think owning it isn't enough, because if you can know that you're wrong and that's it, but you're going to still do wrong, I can't trust you. Actually, as a matter of fact, I don't want to continue to have any type of relationship with you because you will just continue to knowingly hurt me.
Yeah.
So I think it's great to take accountability, but I don't think that it stops there. I think after accountability needs to be correction. Yeah.
And that's like a whole nother lane.
That's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a whole process. It's like it's a lot that you gotta give out and a lot that you gotta take in. And it's a lot of like back and forth.
I think you're absolutely right, because it is two ways back and forth. Because if I've wronged someone and now I'm coming to them and I'm taking accountability for it and I'm owning it and I want to apologize and I want to make amends,
you just want to be done with it after that.
Well, it will be able to grow from there, or it will stop there based on that person's reaction. If I'm trying to own it and I want to make amends, now granted, some people need time. But if you don't ever want to offer forgiveness and grow and move from that moment, or if you want to fake forgive and bring it up every 2 seconds, every chance you get, and you want to hold me to that and nail me to that cross for the rest of our life, you can't have growth there. So I think there's responsibility on both sides. If you're the offender or you're the offended, there's definitely responsibility on both sides, which is what makes it hard, and which is what can be discouraging if in the past maybe you have tried to own things and you have tried to do better and you weren't met with a good reaction or even a safe reaction, and it just kind of tore you down. Now you feel like, okay, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that can also stunt the growth.
Yeah.
Because after you're being discouraged, you're feeling like, okay, you shut down.
Oh, absolutely.
You shut down. You're not gonna want to do it again because it's kind of like a trauma response.
It
like,
is.
Shut down. I'm not gonna do this again because this is what I'm expecting the result to be.
And I'm disappointed every time. So why do I want to keep setting myself up for disappointment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And hurtful.
But honest.
Yes.
But honest, because I think sometimes people, like you said, offloading that responsibility of like, I don't want to, even if someone else is wrong and they own it, you also have a responsibility of how you handle someone in that moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what we were talking about earlier when I was saying that I would react too fast. And even if I'm upset, I don't manage people well in that moment when I'm upset. So it's now a hindrance to my relationship. It didn't matter if someone else was wrong. I also partook in being wrong with the way that I reacted. Instead of just letting you be wrong by yourself, now I stepped into the ring and I'm wrong with you.
Yeah.
And so even though this conflict didn't start with me, I do have to own the part I played in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can go downhill real quickly. So quick. So but when you do that work, then, there's hope.
Yeah.
There's hope.
And you won't always get it right.
Yeah.
Grace.
Right. Grace. Thank God for grace. Boy.
But my people then go say, I know one bite, I know one die, I know one women, I want enjoy, I want job life, I want buy motor, I want build house, I still want to know. Where's it go?
Can you share? An experience where taking accountability changes the outcome of a situation for you? What?
I'm all ears.
Oh. Can you share an experience? We're taking accountability. Change the outcome of a situation for you.
Change the outcome of a situation for me. Yes. It did change the outcome. It did change the outcome. I remember, I think this was like maybe a couple years ago. I was offended. I can't remember what it was exactly, but it was something that had happened, and I felt some type of way. So I'm in my feelings for a couple days because, I'm learning, I'm doing the things. It takes me a second to find it. And I'm really just like angry on the surface. So I remove myself, which is also kind of just as harmful as reacting in the moment, because now I'm stonewalling and I'm not allowing the people I love to like really be there. So you definitely, for me, it was definitely a challenge to like find the balance of like, okay, definitely give yourself time, figure out what you're feeling, and then come. Girl, don't give it too much time. You're dragging it. Like, now you're being mean. So with that in mind, I'm like, okay, I have to go and I have to address this. I felt some type of way about something with my dad. And I'm so ready to talk about it, because I feel like, okay, well, you were wrong. Like, and this is how it made me feel.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking I have grace going into the conversation. I don't know what your intentions were, but this is how I felt. And so my dad has this thing whenever we have to talk about something serious or difficult, he'll ask me, do I want him to just listen, or do I want to talk about it? Meaning that my dad is a very honest person, so he's going to give me his raw, unfiltered opinion. I don't always want that. So now he just asks me, do you want me to listen, or do you want to talk about it? But I'm feeling so justified in how I feel. And I just know that, like...
I love that he gave you that option.
Yeah.
Not a lot of parents do that, man.
Yeah, I do. I'm very thankful for it. I'm very thankful for it because my dad does not hold back. So sometimes, no, I just want you to listen to me. I just want to cry. I just want to come with my feelings and be a girl and fall apart. I don't want you to dad right now. Just let me get it out. But I'm like, oh, I want to talk about it because I know there's not a blemish on me anywhere. I know there's no speck sitting in my eye. You have the log. So I'm like, yeah, no, I want to talk about it because I want to address like what you did. And he said, okay. And he sat there, he listened, I talked, I got everything out, And then when I was done with me and my feelings, he was like, okay, well, what about you? I said, what about me? What do you mean, what about me? And he was like, what about the way that you made me feel in that situation? And I said, what do you mean how I made you feel?
Turn it around.
I was like, in the moment, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Because I'm already upset. And I already feel so justified in my feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you not going to acknowledge how I feel and immediately turn this back around on me? But I had to like take a second and just have a woosah moment and then just listen instead of already having like a defense for what I want to say in my head and just listen. And so he started explaining, I don't really remember what happened. But I remember leaving. Like, I remember just leaving the situation. And like I said, that was my response. I would just remove myself and I would just leave. And so he was talking to me about how that made him feel.
Yeah.
But me leaving didn't have anything to do with him. It had everything to do with someone else. And I'm like, okay, but he's going on and he's telling me different things. And I'm seeing, like, how he felt based on me.
Yeah.
And my feelings weren't really, I don't even think I was going in there about him.
Yeah.
I think I was going in there more about the situation, which is why I was like, no, I want to talk about the situation. It wasn't really more about him. But when we started talking, I'm like, first of all, I don't even think it really computed that, like, my dad could have feelings. I'm like, you're my dad. Like, you're my dad. Like
why
you
do
don't
have feelings? Like, huh?
And I hurt them? What do you mean? I wouldn't do
How
that.
could you be hurt by your child?
How? I wasn't even trying to do that. Like, what do you mean? And so I think in that moment, I had to take accountability of how my actions affected someone else. It wasn't my intention. But intention doesn't always match delivery.
Yeah. And
so it was really hard then. And now I started feeling all of this guilt.
Yeah.
And before, where I felt so justified and I felt so right. And I was the fool that was wise in my own counsel. Instead of maybe talking about it in that moment and getting clarity and just being curious about a situation, I just reacted off of my feelings and I didn't know the impact that it could have.
Yeah. And
I just remember he told me how he felt, and the conversation wasn't wrapped up in that moment. I just took some time to like really let it sink in. I don't even remember how like we closed it off, but I just took some time to like let his words sink in. And then I kind of realized that if I didn't bring this up, I don't know if he would have ever shared that.
Yeah.
I don't know like if I would even really know that that's how he truly felt. Because even in the moment when I say I want to talk about something, you're showing me your compassion and your response and asking, well, what do I need in this moment? And so the fact that I couldn't even tell that you had felt this way, I think it's a form of your love. And just showing that although you were hurt, you're still dad. Like you're still being you. And in that moment, I felt overwhelmed with his compassion that I started to feel so much guilt and shame. And when I started to feel so much guilt and shame, I just, I just started owning it. Like, I didn't feel like I was wrong, but
Yeah.
but I was wrong because someone was affected.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I think maybe like a day or so after, like, going back and talking to him and apologizing. And girl, it was just like a whole sob fest and breakdown. And it's just like, I'm so sorry. It didn't mean. At my big, big age, like, girl, I'm grown. But I think I think that's how owning something can change the outcome, because you don't know whatever you're holding on to, how it's impacting a relationship that is important to you, and you don't know what someone else might be carrying as well out of that moment. You think it's just you. You think it's just you, but you don't realize that, okay, no, maybe there's something for me to learn about myself here.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And when you have like those moments, because I currently went through a similar situation, and I really had to sit back after the whole conversation and just really deep dive into who I was in that moment, and also in the moments that I didn't realize were moments that affected others. I just thought about how this, that, and fourth happened, and how I didn't address this, that, and fourth. I was just taking everything and letting it slide, like, oh, it's not a big deal, just letting it slide whole time. Like, it was just like, it kind of hurt me in a way.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? It's all right, And when you keep saying it's all right, it's going to come a moment where something happens and it's not okay. And then all of it comes out. Just all of it comes out. And so all of those past things with other things, and you mix it all together and you take it out on the ones that care about you the most and love you, and you just threw like this bomb.
Yeah, because now it's no longer its own moment. Now I'm not really just addressing this one thing that's happened. I'm addressing years of stuff that's piled up, which isn't fair. Because for one, you didn't know was there. I had a friend do that to me one time.
Yeah.
And I may not have reacted in the best way, because I ended that friendship right there. But that was a different season of life. But I did have a friend, and that's funny, because when that happens, two people have two different outlooks.
Yes.
I remember at that time we were friends for like 8 years. And we're friends, girl. We're friends, and also we're dumb. I think we were friends from like middle school to high school. And we got into it a couple times, but it's like we never really resolved any issue that we ever got into. We just kind of moved on. And so from my perspective is, oh my gosh, I love my friend so much. Like I was upset, but it's not really that deep. I'm going to get over it, and we'll just continue in our friendship. And so I'm assuming that for her, it's the same thing. And so one day I had come back home. I was dealing with a breakup. I was like, I'm fine. We planned like a day together. I think we like go out to eat or something. We hadn't seen each other in a while, so it's like the first time that we're linking back up. And I'm texting her, and I think she was like upset that I didn't seem as excited as I should have. But it's like, girl, I just ended this relationship yesterday. Like, I'm sad. Like, and I haven't really addressed the sadness yet. Like, I'm looking forward to doing that with my friend, like with my real friend, and like, to have my fall apart moment and just our girl moment and just be there, like, the way that we do, and then we'll get over it and get into the fun. But I'm just really down right now, and I need my friend. And I remember I get there, we sit down to eat, I'm ready to fall apart, and she comes like with this book and this list of grievances that she's had. And I feel like in the moment, what I felt like is like, I'm so low right now. And as my friend, you're using this moment to kick me while I'm down. And you're bringing up stuff that's like not even current from like years ago. Why did you never tell me that you felt this way?
Yeah.
So I just felt like, no, girl, I don't, this is not the friendship that I want. And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I really do miss her because I really loved her like as a sister. But I think there's so much harm in that sometimes when I think that's one of those things that it really hurts trust in your level of relationship, because it's like, why are you holding on to this for so long? And if it has been so heavy on you, where was the truth in all of our moments where you were kind of hiding this and you weren't saying something? You know, I didn't look at it before as like someone being compassionate and still loving me through a moment. But I think a lot of it was also in the delivery. It's like, well, why are you now weaponizing this instead of maybe letting me know, okay, there's some things I want to talk to you about, versus an ambush. So I think there's so much nuance in it, because from her perspective, I do think that if something's bothering you, you do have a right to address it and talk about it and have the opportunity to mend things and to grow. But I think that delivery is also important, and communication is also important, and letting somebody know where you are too. Yeah. But we were really young, so there's a lot of room for both of us to grow. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question, and then we're gonna get into a game.
Oh, we have a game?
This is a short game.
Oh, I'm competitive.
I'm competitive too. I'm like a real competitive.
Then I like that, because I like people that are competitive too. Like,
oh my god! Like when it comes to sports, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah,
okay,
it doesn't matter what the game is.
Listen, and then on top of that, I'm talking trash.
Yes.
I'm talking mad trash. Okay, and I might not even be good. I just might lose and know it, but I'm not gonna admit that. Oh, I'm beating you.
Yeah, you're my type of person, because for one, I'm not good at it at all, but I'm gonna talk trash the entire time. And I'm gonna be competitive because it's just fun. Like, it's just a game. It's not that deep. But yeah,
I'm the Lulu in that moment. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna win. I'm going to win. In my head, I'm not going to win, but I'm going to mess with him. I'm going to like...
For real, that's what it is.
Poke that person. Yeah.
And
get all right. Yeah.
I will cheat. I will tell you that I'm cheating, because I won't lie.
Oh my God. I love you too.
You're my person.
Oh my God.
Yes. Because I will cheat. Trust me. I will win by any means. Yes.
Any means necessary. What are you talking about?
Okay, yeah, I like this. Come on, let's get to the questions so I can whip you in these games. I'm excited.
Oh, okay. We'll see about that, honey.
I'm excited.
How do you recognize when you're blaming others instead of taking responsibility?
That's a really good question. That's a really, really good question. And I think for that one, we have to go all the way back to question number 1. I think that's when you need wise counsel around you. Yeah. Because a fool is wise in their own counsel. Especially if it's a heated moment and it's just me. I feel like I'm right. I know I'm right. And a lot of times we allow our feelings to dictate our judgment. So if I feel like you did something against me and there's a wrong there, I feel like whatever my reaction is, I'm right in that because I was wrong. But that's not always the case. So I think that's one of those questions where accountability is no longer just with yourself. It's also going to somebody else. And my favorite question is, am I tripping? I want to know, because there's a couple people that will tell me immediately, Tiana, you're tripping. It was never that deep. You are making like a bigger thing out of this than it needs to. And there's some other people that will tell me like, no, you're not tripping, girl. I know you're not tripping. If this is what happened, then no, you're not tripping. So I think that's exactly what I mean by accountability is not just with yourself. You need someone that you're accountable to, that loves you enough to tell you when you're right and when you're wrong, out of love, of course. But yeah, I think that's what that looks like.
everyone might be familiar with, but there's going to be a bit of a twist to it. Okay? So, the title of this episode is called Accountability versus Blame.
Okay.
So I thought of different types of games that would be fun to do, but they didn't necessarily match with the episode. But then I fell into something called Truth or Dare. And what we're going to do is we are going to choose what we want to do, like truth versus dare. Like,
Okay.
say, I think I'm going to do truth in this moment.
Okay.
And then you're going to ask me,
Oh my gosh.
something related to the topic of this show.
Okay.
Or if I don't want to address that truth,
no.
to
You-
dare
no,
me,
no,
dare
no,
me
no,
to
no,
do
no, no,
something.
No. This is not my first
And
rodeo.
vice
Truth or
versa.
dare. No.
Okay.
That's not how that works.
So,
When you make your pick, you make your pick.
and so, but, okay. And we're going to get to the game.
You know what? And here I am thinking of different ways to cheat, and you mastered it. No. That's not
Let's
what
get
we're doing.
into the games. Do you want to go first?
Absolutely, I want to go first.
Okay, choose versus dare.
Ooh, oh wait, as in like I have to choose first?
Sure. I was going to go first.
Oh, you were going. Okay.
But
okay.
since
No,
you're the
no,
guest, you
no,
can
no,
do
no.
the honor.
Actually, I'll go first because I need time.
Okay.
I need time for my little diabolical mind to come up with something good. Yeah, I need time. I'm gonna pick truth because I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna pick truth. Ooh, what can I make you do? You better make it good. You better make it good.
Oh
You
my
better
god.
make it good.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yes, come on, let's get my turn over with.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are you doing? Truth? Dare?
Truth.
Truth. Okay. A truth.
A truth. And I love
that
that.
is related to the topic of this show.
You made the game, so I would think that she had some this ready.
So,
Mm-hmm.
is it true?
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth.
Is it true that
Hold on.
is it true?
You're making me nervous.
I'm dragging it,
Hold
y'all.
on.
I'm dragging it.
Okay.
Okay. Is it true?
I was never there. Go ahead.
Is it true?
Uh-huh.
And how many churches did you go to?
How many churches?
Yeah.
In my life?
Yeah.
Oh. I've been
More than one?
Yeah, more than one.
Okay.
More than one.
So is it true that you ran into, how do you call those people that walking down the aisle?
I should know this.
Ushers, that's what they're
Ushers,
called.
That's what they are.
Is it true that you came, or how do you say this? You ran into an usher and one of the singers on the choir team.
Okay. Then I ran into them?
Makeout sesh
I
at the
can't-
parking
wait,
lot.
Wait.
At the parking
Your
lot.
pauses are full stops. Because what?
At the parking lot instead of being on the job at the church.
False. I don't even know what you're talking about. That was false. That was not true.
False. All right.
Are
now.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Truth or dare?
Oh my God! Now I have to choose the opposite, right? Okay. You know what? I'll do truth.
You were so close. You were so close. That's okay.
I'm getting tingles. Like, yes, Danica, you made the right decision.
You were so close.
Okay.
Is it true? Is it true that while we're talking about accountability and blame, there is something going on that you need to take accountability for?
Oh, wow. Ooh.
Yo, she not gonna invite me back over here after this.
Oh. Quite, yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Quite a few, actually.
A few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few. Just a few.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Just a few. I'm not gonna get into details,
No,
but you know, there's just
a few. Okay. I'll choose truth again.
Truth again.
Truth again.
Oh man.
Well, you gotta come with something for real, cause I felt you making that up as you made it up. Like, no, it's okay. It's okay. You could.
Is it true?
Hold on now, because why did you just jump like that? I was being polite. Okay.
Is it true?
Okay. I'm getting hot. Okay.
Is it true?
Okay.
That's.
Okay.
I think you know. That someone's husband try to holler at you.
Yes, multiple truths. Multiple truths.
And did you engage?
I did not engage. I did not engage. Because I don't really fear people, but I fear God. And marriage is a covenant with God. Yeah, no. Yeah. But multiple truths.
I was about to tell a story time, but nah.
It's my story times.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn. Truth or dare. Truth or dare.
Dare.
I dare you to call that person and take accountability.
Oh! I knew it!
Let me give y'all context because y'all don't know. So,
dang.
She was supposed to do this from the last time I was here. This time y'all are seeing us. This is not the first time. We've been here before. We've been on this couch before. We've been here before, y'all. And she was supposed to do this from before that. And she didn't. And so, because she told me, I'm going to hold her accountable because I want you to do better.
Wow, that is so like core relatable to this show.
Yeah.
OMG.
Yeah.
I felt tingles. I was like, Danica, because you kept going with the truth, and I'm just like, dare. Dare I say dare?
Dare I say dare I not?
OMG.
Yeah, you don't even have to ask the question again. Mine is only truth. Come on.
OMG. Sorry about that, you guys. The little cut off, but the show still must go on, and we're ending out anyway. So you dared me to take accountability on a situation that I
come on. Let's get
need to take accountability for.
Don't drag it out.
So, hear he. just wanted to know if you guys were available to get on the phone this weekend. There's some things I want to take accountability for if you have the time. Whoo!
I think that's really big. What you guys kind of missed is like her putting that text together in her notes to like send off. Did you hit send?
Oh, I'm going to.
Ooh, come on.
I'm scared.
Come on.
I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared.
I'm
I'm scared. And that's real though, cause like this is what a lot of people feel when they're in a situation where they know they're wrong and they could have done better, and it's like, especially when it's like the people you like love,
Yeah.
and it's like you don't want to receive a negative response or reaction for that, because if that happens, that's gonna like automatically shut down, and you will never. It'll be hard for you to try something like that again if there were to be another situation where, you know, you mess up. We're all human, you know, we fall short sometimes, we make mistakes.
And I think that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, is there's so many different factors of like why someone would not want to take accountability for their actions, and also there's responsibility on both sides, because now once you've sent that and you kind of like put your heart in the right place to own it and then correct it and make amends, it could go one or two ways depending on the reaction that you get. You sent it? You're still scared. It's okay.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
It's
I'm
okay.
going to do it, yeah, and I'm gonna let you know how it goes too.
You made the text, you scrolled to find the conversation, and now we just need to
Send.
Yeah, come on.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
While she's doing that, I think you guys should also think about what conversation you need to take accountability for. I think if you watch this entire episode and there's been something at the forefront of your mind the whole time that we've been talking, then I dare you to address that too. Like, it's scary.
Yes. Go ahead and just make that step.
Yeah.
I keep saying make. Take that step. Take that step.
Yeah.
If you've done it already, I mean, if you're thinking about doing it, or you're turning your back to it, but you know it's something that you need to do, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Things will be so much better after. And if you don't get a good outcome, that's okay.
You get the comfort in knowing that you've done all that you could do.
Yes.
And I think also you have to leave room for people, especially if you're the person that was in the wrong. If you're the person that was in the wrong and now you're coming, you kind of have to give that person room and the grace to accept. Don't expect like an immediate reaction. Sit with the uncomfortability for just a moment.
Right.
Of like, okay, I just own my stuff. Now what? Now how do we go from here? What do we do?
Right. But thank you so much. So much for coming to my podcast. I'm so grateful, so thankful, so appreciative of you coming here and doing this with me. You don't even know, you guys. Isn't she amazing?
Isn't she amazing?
Tiana is so amazing. Thank you for coming. So, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a comment of your experience and what actions you took and taking accountability. And if you haven't, go ahead and take those steps, because you will feel so much better after that. And I promise you, it will be a great experience. No matter the outcome, everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna work out. Thank you so much again, Tiana. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh
this
my
is amazing.
goodness. You know what? You need a feature on another episode. That's it. That's it. That's it. You need a feature on another episode.
Whenever you'll have me.
Yes.
Whenever
yes,
you'll have
ma'am.
me.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. So you guys please share, because I will be reading. And thank you guys. This felt good.
This felt really good.
This felt so refreshing.
This felt really good for a lot of different reasons, and I'm hoping that it really touched someone out there too. Like, let us know if you're the one that needs to take accountability, or you're the one that like needs to accept someone else. Like, and if you have questions, I think that'd be good too. If you have questions, share that, because we have some too. I feel like, you know, we're all learning and growing together.
Yes. So listen, when I say go to those comments, go to those comments. It's a safe place.
And I got a sneak peek, like a little preview of what's to come. Y'all need to stay tuned in. Trust me, the Truth Hurts podcast has some great things coming. I'm gonna be locked in. I'm definitely gonna be locked